Good morning, my dear students. In today's class, in the chapter kinematics, we are going to discuss about the problems on uniform velocity motion. So, if you look at in the previous class, we had the few numericals we have discussed here. So today, some sort of like some theoretical things, not like some math based. Some information will be available, real life situation will be available. Then how that uniform velocity motion concept can be applied to work out such numericals. Only few 5-6 numericals I picked up here, where you have to understand situation first, then you have to go for the numerical. They are of that kind. Okay, let me take you to the screen. Okay, read the question. So let me read it. Read the question. So I'll shall I proceed? I think, okay, this one here. No, Ram used to walk to school every morning and it takes him 20 minutes once on his way. He realized that he had forgotten his homework notebook at home. He knew that if he continued walking to school at the same speed, he would be there 8 minutes before scheduled time. 8 minutes before the bell. So he went back to home for the notebook and arrived to the school 10 minutes after the bell. If he had walked all the way with his usual speed, what fraction of the way to school had he covered till the moment he turned back? Okay, if there's a condition given like this. Okay, we'll do one thing. Let's take a situation like suppose say is, so this is the is home. And this is school. Just a school building. Okay, this is like this. Okay, these are windows here. So now we will start with a speed u. Let is velocity of the walking will be u, that one. So the distance of the school from it, let it be x. And usually what's happened, it will take 20 minutes for him to cover that one. Okay, we'll calculate what is his velocity of 20 minutes. So this 20 minutes, what we can write? The speed u is equal to the distance covered from his home on his way by 20 minutes. So this 20 minutes, you can write it as x by u. Keep it here. Okay, let this be equation 1. Then what actually happens? He will walk some distance. He will walk some distance, say s. There he realizes that he has forgotten notebook, that one. Okay, clear this one. So I'll do one thing. This distance, let me call it as y or ss, I'll call it. He will return back. He will return back and again he'll go to the school. So here, shall I select it? Turned back here. Okay, let's read the question. If he has, if he continued walk to school at the same speed, he would be there 8 minutes before the bell. If he had continued, so what is the remaining distance? X minus 6. So it should have been x minus 6 with a speed u should have been the bell time. Let me put here 8 minutes before the bell. TB. So what is TB? TB is the bell time. Now, similarly, he walked back. He walked back means how much of, and again reached the school after 10 minutes of the bell. So how much of distance he will cover? S plus X by U, T plus 10 minutes. I think that if you can understand this much, okay, you might get confused. If he continued walking to school at the same speed, he would have been there 8 minutes before the bell, corresponding to this. Then so he went back to home for the notebook and arrived to the school 10 minutes after the bell. Yeah, fine. Agree this. Now, what is unknown thing? Is asking that the value of solving these two. So first what happened? We have X in terms of U. So what is X? X is equal to 20U. Similarly, S will calculate. So what is S? S will become solving these two, 1, 2, 3. S will become 9U. So he's asking what fraction of the way to school had he covered till the moment he turned back. S by X is asking. So 9U by 20U. Just based on uniform velocity motion, nothing big. I picked up this problem, keeping that in mind. Okay, let me scroll down to next question. In an announcement on a railway station, a passenger hears that, okay, that this is HEARS. Let me rewrite it. Hears that the last train has passed the station delta T minutes earlier than his train. On the next station, that is 20 kilometers away from the previous station, in other announcement, he hears that the first train arrived at 20 minutes earlier than his train. Reading the time from his watch, he calculates average speed of his train to be 60 kilometers per hour. Based on the announcements and the passengers calculation, determine the average speed of the first train. What shall we do here now? Okay, there are two stations are there. I will try to explain through diagram. It will be here. So there are the two trains are there. So the train A, okay, there's a station 1. Okay, there's a station 2. That's the same thing. Similarly for the thing. So just I'm trying to explain. Let me put it here, all these things. Okay, there's one station, the next station, that one. Okay, first, what is the time? Like 30 minutes earlier than his train. Okay, let's do one thing. At 7:30 a.m., I can take so morning, no, so let it be that at 7:30 a.m. I'm in this train. I'll hear announcement that 30 minutes earlier the last train has passed 30 minutes earlier. So the earlier train was A, that one. So it has passed the station 1. At 7:30 a.m. if I means when the earlier train would have been at the station 1 at 7 a.m. Rather than mathematics, I'm taking help of the language here. So that this will be much easier, no? At station 1, I'm in the train B, and I'll get announcement that half an hour before the first train, the earlier train left. So at 7:30 a.m. if I hear announcement, means when the train A would have been at the station 1 at 7 a.m. On the next station, that is 20 kilometer away. So this distance is how much? 20 kilometer. From the previous station, in another announcement, he hears that the first train arrived 20 minutes earlier than his train. Okay, I think now here is what you are going to take a decision. So by the time 7:30 a.m. is done, so where the train A would have been, the train A will be somewhere here, no? When ES announcement, the train A will be somewhere here. So is it like that? No. On the next station, that is away from the previous station, another statement. Yes, that the first train arrived 20 minutes earlier than his train. Okay, fine. Till here, there's a one sentence. Let me, in another announcement, the first train arrived earlier than his train. On the next station, that is 20 kilometers away from previous station, you will hear that 20 minutes earlier than his train. Okay, first of all, what time the train B will take to reach station 2 will calculate. Then I'll decide what will happen to this. Time taken by the train B to reach station 2. So what is the speed of the station? What is the speed of the train B? I think this is the speed of the train B, no? In which passenger is there? Then what is the distance? 20 kilometers per hour. So time taken by train B to move from station 1 to station 2. Okay, this will take it. So what is the distance? It is 20 kilometers. Where is the distance? 20 kilometers. So that will be S into speed of the train. Okay, this I'll write it. VB, I'll write it. Okay, this will be 20 kilometers, 6 kilometers per hour. So this everything will become 1/3 hour. 1/3 hour means 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, what happened? The train B will be here. I'll put it. This is very important. So what is the time? Exactly 7:50 a.m. The train B will arrive at station 2, according to the data. Then here, what is the announcement you will get? You will get announcement that 20 minutes earlier than his train. 20 minutes earlier than his train is passed. So when the after what time the train A will reach the station 2? Exactly 7:30 a.m. Able to understand this one? So what is the now time of journey of the train A? 30 minutes. Then what is the distance covered? 20. So what is the average speed of the train A? Average speed of first train or train A should be equal to distance covered by what is the time? 20 minutes. It will be. So what is the distance covered? 20 kilometers. 20 minutes, what we can write? Okay, so sorry, 30 minutes. No, it will take 30 minutes. So this will be half an hour. So this will be 40 kilometer per hour. This will be the average speed of the first train. I think just we have to read the sentence here and assume some suitable diagram. No. Okay, I'll scroll down. Let me go for the next one. Next question. One day you were on a picnic with your class. During return journey from the picnic spot to your school, it began to rain. Therefore, the driver reduced the speed of the bus and drove with an average speed V1 60 km per hour instead of the scheduled average speed of 70 km per hour. After the rain stopped, the driver drove the bus at an average speed of 75 km per hour and covered the remaining 40 km exactly in the scheduled time. How long did it rain? It's very simple. Just we have to I think we have read question. Let me make small so that I'll get enough space to scribble. This is a thing. Then next again. Yeah. During return journey from the picnic spot. Okay, there's a picnic spot. And this is school. It began to rain. Therefore, the driver reduced the speed. So here it started raining. So the driver, what he will do, he will reduce the speed of the bus. With a V1 instead of scheduled average. So he will cover a distance, say let it be X1. Then afterwards, after the rain stopped, okay, this is, I think, for a duration of time at which the rain will take place, no, the rain will occur, no. So this is what the time T1. Then next again, no rain. The bus will move the speed V2, average speed of V2. Okay, this is what that V2. Okay, I'll indicate. And you will cover a distance X2 in an interval of time T2. V2 is 75 km per hour. If there were no rain, the average would have been 70 km per hour. Okay, then we have discussed some concepts if you can recollect. So what is V average is equal to distance covered X1, total distance covered by time taken. What is X1? V1 T1, V2 T2 by T1 plus T2. What is T1? Time for which it rained, duration of time for which it rained. Duration of time for which rain occurred or raining occurred, it is. What is T2? Duration of time for which there was no rain. Okay, this, I think already we have come across this formula, if you can remember. Okay, what are V1, V2? As we know, V1, V2. V1 is 60 km per hour. And average speed, if there were no rain, you would have covered that distance with an average speed 70 km, 75 km per hour, 70 km per hour. So 70 is equal to V1, we know 60 T1, V2 75 T2 by T1 plus T2. Now, what is the thing is we don't know We don't know that T2, no? So let's take help of this equation. After the rain stopped, the driver drove the bus at an average speed of 75 kilometer per hour and covered remaining S equal 40 kilometer exactly in scheduled time. So what is the meaning of this? That X2 is what? S here without train, and with what speed it was moving? V2. So what is V2? It should be equal to S by T2 or X2 by T2. So do we know V2? 75. Do we know X2? 40 kilometer per hour. Let me write like this. And this is T2. So what is T2 should be equal to now? 40 by 75. This should be equal to, I think it will be 8 by 15. How long did it rain? So T1 is unknown thing. So let me substitute. So there's the equation 1. There's the equation 2. Let me substitute 2 in 1, we'll get the required answer. So after solving this, we'll end up 70 equal to 60 T1, 75, 8 by 15, T1, 8 by 15. So solving this, we'll get the T1 value. I think I have to work out here. It will be 2.0.27 hour. This will be your answer. I think it's not something very big problem. Only thing we should understand the conditions that are given clearly and draw some diagram. Then you know average velocity definition you are supposed to use. That's all. Let me take the next question. Already just now I solved it. Let me explain here. Two tourists A and B who are at a distance of 40 kilometers from their camp must reach it together in the shortest possible time. They have one bicycle and they decide to use it in turn. A started walking at a speed of 5 kilometers per hour. B moved on the bicycle at a speed of 15 kilometers per hour. Means when the persons walk, they'll be walking at a speed 5 kilometers per hour. When they ride bicycle, they'll be moving at a speed 15 kilometers per hour. Then after moving a certain distance, B left the bicycle and walked the remaining distance, full stop. A, on reaching near the bicycle, picks it up and covers the remaining distance, riding it. Both reach the camp together. Find the average speed of each tourist. How long was the bicycle left unused? Okay, now shortest possible time. For shortest possible time, the distance that was covered in walking should be equal to the distance covered on the bicycle for each tourist. The basic, then only the time will be shortest. For each tourist, this is applicable. For each tourist, there's a condition. How much of distance you'll walk, that much of distance you should go on bicycle, and that should be equal. Okay, what is the distance between this distance total is equal to 40 kilometers. Let me indicate it is. This total distance is 40 kilometers. So therefore, 2x should be equal to 40 and x equal to 20 kilometers. Okay, total time of travel. Okay, let's first they'll cover a distance X by walking. The tourist stay, you can take it. Then the another distance X by riding bicycle. Okay, then I'll get the total time of travel, that one. If you know total time of travel, then what is the distance between the spot and the camp? 40 km/h. So what is the average speed? 40 km by time. The total time of travel, what we know, that will be 16 by 3 hours. I think I. Okay, this with this, I'll get the average speed of each tourist. How long was the bicycle left unused? I think you have to take the difference of these two times, T1 by T2. Time for which bicycle was not used. T1 minus T2 it is. So what is T1? X by W. What is T2? X by VW. So this I'll write it, delta T. So what is T1? The difference of that you take it, we'll get this answer. I think of all this condition is very important. Without this, not possible. Okay, these are some problems on uniform velocity. Let me go for a few more. The position versus time graph of a body moving along a straight direction. Find the total distance covered, displacement, average speed, average velocity for an interval of time t equals 0 to 12 seconds for first 12 seconds. Then find the velocity of the body at t equal 2 seconds, 6 seconds, and t equal 10 seconds. Okay, this is the position versus time graph. So initially where the object is, object is at s equal 10 meter, I just indicated here. This is the initial position. Then look at the slope, slope negative. No? Slope negative means velocity should be towards left. So what is the velocity at this point? Somewhere here, 2 seconds it is asking, no? This is the thing. Then 6 seconds it was asked. Then 10 seconds. At these instants of time, we should calculate the velocity. So for that, I think we'll just take the slope. So what is the velocity at 2? It should be equal to final 0 minus 10 by 5 minus 0. So minus 2 meter per second. So for 0 to 5 seconds, it will move with a constant speed 2 meter per second. So that I'll write it here. For 0 to 5 seconds, it will move with a constant speed. Here the slope is constant, uniform velocity motion. Next again, 5 to 8 seconds. Then after 5 seconds, at 5 seconds, it will be at origin. Then it will start moving again towards left. What is the slope of this? This we have to calculate here. So it should be equal to, just some correction is there in the graph. I'll put it. Both need not be of same slope. Okay, now come for this one here. Now, what is the slope of this line? V6 should be equal to 0 minus 6 by 8 minus 5 minus 6 by 3 minus 2 meter per second. So again, the body is moving with 2 meter per second towards left only. And finally, it will be at minus 6 meter. It is like this, t equal to Yeah, this one only correct here. No, similarly again, from 8 to, in between 8 to 12 seconds. So what happened to the body? It is having positive slope. So then again from -6 meter, it will come to the origin. So it will change the direction of motion. So what is the slope? 6/4. The slope should be equal to V10 should be equal to, how do we write? Final speed is 0, initial speed is -6, 12 minus 8. So this should be equal to 6/4, 1.5 meter per second. So here it will move with 1.5 meter per second. So look at the body, it has changed the direction of motion. From 10 meter, it will come to origin, then it will move 6 meter, then again it will cover under distance of how much? Under 6 meter, and finally to reach it. So what is the total distance covered? Total distance covered should be equal to how much it is? 10 plus 6 plus 6, 22 meter displacement. Initially it was at 10 meter, finally it is at origin. So net displacement will be 0 minus of ten I cap. Then what about the average speed? Distance covered by total time of journey. So 22, total time of journey is 12. So 11/6 meter per second. What about the average velocity? Displacement by time taken, minus 10 I cap by 12. Okay, I think the from ST graph, so much of information is available. You can calculate what are V2, V6, they are instantaneous velocities. Speed of particle at 2 seconds. What is V6? Speed of particle at 6 seconds. What about V10? Like this, from ST graph, position of time, what all you can calculate, you can find out instantaneous speed, distance covered, displacement, average speed, average velocity. All these things you can determine. Okay, we have one more. This is some position versus time graph is being displayed. Yeah. Okay, let's get into this one. Find the distance covered. So what all we have to find out? Find the distance covered. Displacement. Average speed and average velocity for first 30 seconds. How that motion occurs, I think we must have a first basic clarity of how that motion really takes place here. So let me take, this is the origin. So initially where it was at a distance of 8 meter, the body is at 8 meter. Then how do it will move? After t equals 0, it is here. At t equal to 10 seconds, it will be at origin. And t equal to 15 seconds, it will be at -4 meter. At t equal 20 seconds, again it will be at origin. At t equal 25, it will be at 2 meters. T equal to 20 seconds. Again, at t equal to 30 seconds. Again, it will be at origin. Okay, this is really how that motion occurs is what first we should. So first the motion will take place. Let me indicate different colors. First it will be like this. Then it is. Then it will change direction of motion. Then it will be here. Then again it will change direction of motion. Will be like this. Minus 4 meters. And finally it will reach here, t equal to 30 seconds. So this distance is what? 2 meters. This is actually the motion of the object from, it was at 8 meters. It will reach origin at 10 seconds. It is moving towards left. Then again what happened? It will cover a distance of 4 meters along negative x-axis because velocity is negative here. So it is moving towards left. Then at t equal to 15 seconds, it will be at a minus 4 meters. Then again at t equal to 20 seconds, it will back at origin. Okay, don't bother, sir. What is the time taken to take turn? Actually, it is like this, the motion. To explain you, I'm just showing this curve to indicate all these things. Then afterwards, again, it will move a distance 2 meters. At 25 seconds, it will be at a distance of 2 meters. Then again, after 5 seconds, it will be at origin, t equal to 30. So what is the total distance covered? It will be, so here let me indicate. See, this is a use of this is 8 meters. Let me indicate with arrows all that one. Yeah, now I'll indicate this is 4 meters. This is 8 meters. This is 2 meters. Okay, what is the total distance covered? I have here only, I'll use this again instead of writing. I don't know why this is, sorry. We have to write now distance covered. Distance covered is how much? 8 plus 4 plus 2 plus 2. 18 meters. Displacement. It was initially at 8 meters. Finally, it has come to origin. So net displacement is how much? Minus 8 I cap. Average speed. (18 by 30). So this will be 3 by 5. Average velocity. This will be minus 4 by 15 I cap meter per second. Okay, these are the things. Okay, see once from ST graph. Okay, this is the information like this also we can put. So in ST graph, you may get a curve in the first quadrant and the fourth quadrant. Second and third quadrant, there won't be any curve because time cannot be negative. So in position versus time graph, we can see a curve in the first or the fourth quadrant. So the slope will indicate the instantaneous speed. And we can get all other quantities. So in ST graph, slope of curve in ST graph will be equal to instantaneous velocity. Okay, these are things. Okay, let me wind up the class. So these are some, I think we had a very good discussion on the uniform velocity, if you see. Okay, my dear kids, like I think we had a good discussion on the numericals problems on uniform velocity motion. I think there are exclusively 2 classes I took. Almost, I think we are having around some 20 numericals are there only on uniform velocity, which are very, very important, because once you learn what you mean by average speed, average velocity, instant speed, it'll be very easy for you to go for the next topic. So if you take the books, no, you may have just definition, uniform velocity, equal displacements in equal intervals of time. I think that is important. The whole concept they are just reflected in definition. Based on the definition, we have discussed so many numericals. See, the physics what happen as we do more numericals, the clarity of ideas will come. That's what I am trying to explain, only maximum through numericals rather than just dumping only theoretical ideas. Just you think on them, the numericals, you'll get a confidence, you'll get a clarity. So that's what I feel like. The method of physics is like work out more numericals, think on them, you get exact picture. Then the confidence will come for you to work out different numericals. Okay, we'll meet again in the next class. Okay, thank you, kids. Okay, bye. See you. Take care.